Sure, it's fine. I promise. Anyways, not referencing the darn lizards, what did you think about your role, just like, as a woman, like, you didn't really seem to have the ability to have relationships other than, like, the closest you have is, like, with Chakotay, and you know, that's just so platonic.
From Jaffin.
Yeah, she got some.
No, I didn't. I like who?
Jaffin.
Jaffin.
It's a hologram. Let's cut this straight. I didn't get it. And here's why. I'm going to answer your question. It was my choice. Because I think that they really wanted to develop the Chakotay Janeway thing, right?
Right, yeah.
But why don't you look at it from my perspective? I was 39 years old when I took that role on, right? The first female captain. Lost in the Delta Quadrant within seconds. 75,000 light years from home, a complement of 165, right? I'm responsible.
Everyone's gonna get a little love.
No. Lending red alert a whole new meaning in a Western building. So I went to Rickford, whom I liked very much and trusted creatively. And I said, let me tell you something. This demographic, which is young men, 15 to 30, 35, 40, 45, they're not going to buy it if the commander, the first female commander, is stripping in the radio room. You know that? You understand me? So I said, please.
You speak stripping?
Let me, that's Yiddish for making preference. So I said, please, no sex, no love, no men. It's a lonely thing, but I'm going to get this crew home. And did I do it?
Yeah.
So I told them that I made that sacrifice. And I think it was appropriate, don't you?
Favorite books?
Well, we can just get Robbie to answer that. He just read books the whole time. Go ahead.
I love The Confederacy of Dunces, one of my favorite books.
Yes.
My question to all three of you is which favorite episode you like the most? Which one was your favorite?
Well, why don't you go, Garrett?
I don't have a favorite episode, but I have a favorite scene from Tinker Tenor, Dr. Spy, where the doctor is so full of himself and all the ladies in the ready room are sending him little messages on the pad like that, how sexy he is. That to me was hilarious. All the women in Voyager getting on the doctor. Very funny.
For you personally?
Personally, I would say Timeless, the 100th episode, where the ship crashes and Ensign Kim and Chakotay are the only two people left alive.
You were excellent in that.
Thank you.
It's frozen.
I love Sacred Ground. I really did. The first one I directed. I thought Kate was
loved it.
wonderful in it. It was great. I love that episode.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yes, it was beautiful.
I had to take off my
She had to take off her clothes. I actually asked her if she would be comfortable with that because it wasn't in
covering
the
up the
script.
microphone. Yes.
It wasn't really, that moment wasn't in the script, but I thought, you know, this kind of vision quest ritual she's going through, and they would sort of cleanse, and it could be a really powerful image to see our captain disrobed and being...
Divest herself of her armor.
Yeah.
And it was just my back.
It was just your back, but it was
Beautifully
beautiful.
vulnerable. I loved that. I loved working with you on that. That was great fun. We were so young. We were so carefree.
People remember that. What?
Can't show her clothes off, trust me. Oh,
I would say I loved Counterpoint, and I loved Endgame, and I loved Death Wish. I loved Death Wish the best. What a wonderful story. The right to suicide in the continuum. I thought it was fascinating. Probably John Delancey's best work, although I loved being in the bathtub with him. So thank you for your questions. Thank you.
First of all, I'm so glad that you're all here. also do Chuck, so here we are.
Yeah.
Voyager is my very favorite Star Trek project.
You're
So, thank you so much. My question is, what is the legacy of having been a Star Trek project that's in your life? What has been the legacy of being involved with this franchise in your life since then?
I was going to ask these guys. I'd love to know you.
I'll tell you what the legacy to me is more than just the episodes and the stories that were told. It's the people I've gotten to meet. It's the cast. That we still are very good friends, and I feel like they're family for me. It's seeing some of you at conventions, honestly, and I'm not just kissing your butts here, but I'm being honest, is that I see people who come up for a signature and I'll go, oh my God, I remember meeting you years ago. And you know, I see kids grow up. I see the people I work with on Chuck. Still, we have Ethan Phillips was just on an episode last week that I directed. Ben Betts, our video guy from Voyager, has worked with us on Chuck for 5 years.
Dan Curry.
Dan Curry, visual effects supervisor, is on Chuck. It's the people. That's the legacy to me of Star Trek, is that it brings people together and starts conversations about stories like Death Wish or whatever. You know, there were some great stories and great idea starters, but it's about the people. That's the legacy to me. So, there you go. I'm done.
For me, I think I would say being on Voyager, being in Star Trek, more than anything else, I feel like because at heart I've always been a science fiction fan. I think I'm the luckiest fan in the world to actually be on a show. So that's my legacy, just being part of the whole genre. I'm just very proud to be on it. Period.
Well, you can imagine. I mean, I was terrified. My heart was in my throat. And it was the greatest challenge of my career to be the first female captain, to own that seat, and more importantly, to win this incredibly discerning audience whose intelligence I've come to understand is very rare indeed. The love of science fiction and the knowledge of science fiction is something very rare, and that is what is shared in this room. And that's what I learned in my 7 years. And having made that kind of television history, and I think influencing women in science. And I'll end by saying this, I know what my obit will say. I'm one of those. Patrick Stewart and I have laughed about it. Take Mulgrew, Captain Janeway, who dies in the correct quadrant, right? But I say, great, what better obit could I have? So there you have it.
Thank you so much, Tom. It's a pleasure being here speaking with you all. I've never had this opportunity. My question first is for Kate. How has the transition been from saying permission denied on Voyager to say permission denied on NTSF, SDS, and like, do you ever think that would ever happen? That Amy would ever go from just Captain Janeway to just,
To freak out? Yes.
And my other question is also for you all. Were you let down by the last episode? How you all didn't get together and reunite with your families and experience your loved ones once again? Was anyone let down by that last episode?
Ask the end, girl. I had a heavy hand in that episode. Why is that the way? There's terrible controversy about Endgame. It's the only way it could go down. It had to wrap up. They had this with all good things as well. The Admiral went down with the ship, the Captain went on. Chakotay wrapped it up to 7 of 9, although I think that was their first date. You and Torres have all been married, right? Everything was, if not neatly wrapped up. And the only way you can do 7 years, because you cannot possibly do it to everyone's satisfaction. It's a heroic thing to do it.
Yeah, it is. It is tough.
Okay, if I was Rick Berman, this is what I would have done. I felt the first hour of Endgame was great. The second hour wrapped it up way too quickly. We didn't even set foot on Earth. So, I would have did the first hour of Endgame, and at the end of that, I would have said, to be continued at a theater near you. that actually raised his hand and did the old age makeup. Nobody else did it except for me. That kind of pissed me off. But
that's okay.
That's right. Tuvok.
Tuvok.
Did he die at all?
I did.
He died.
I did very little because it was a pretty guest star on that.
I did.
Even though he's
Little.
90. Yes. May I ask you a question? Do you always carry that gun when you're wearing that T-shirt?
I actually was waiting in line for probably about 2 hours, and the nicest gentleman ever was making an Enterprise and this.
Oh,
the balloon gun. It's very nice.
I remember those.
I did it, and I was like, oh my god, I would love one. He said, sure. So,
Good.
oh my god, and I just, no, just coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, you're very color coordinated.
Thank you for your question. Thank you very much.
Because people want to know, Kate, what happened to your dog? What happened to your relationship with Mark?
Well, we got to. You all, are you
Oh,
not?
we don't you on the show, really?
No.
Oh, okay.
But then you don't change just because you're in the Delta Club.
Two questions. My first one's for you, Kate. How did you see any similarities between Titania on gargoyles and Captain